Hi, my name is Ethan and I will be the instructor for this video. And in this tutorial or project, we will be learning how to make our own personalized app icons. So to get started, we need a photo editor, and I found a nice free version of PhotoScape X. It works really well for the basics of an app icon and making it. Of course, you could spend a lot more time on it, and I think there's a lot you can do with it even with just the free version. Once I have this open, of course you can use any, as long as you are familiar with how to use your own photo editor. I will press new because I want to create a new photo, and our width will be 1024 and our height will be 1024 as well. This represents our pixels height and length, so we want a square image because Xcode will round off the corners of our picture for us. We do not have to worry about that. I want a clear background and I don't want it to show up any. So I'm going to press OK. On this photo editor, I like to insert a frame so I have something to reference. So I'm just going to be clicking on this one right here and press apply. Now I'm going to insert a filled-in rectangle, and I'm going to make this color blue for my filled-in rectangle, or a light blue, I guess, kind of lightish darkish. And this simple app icon is just going to be our initials. So of course this is a bit larger. That's one of the things I would advise you to be careful with when using PhotoScape, is that you can zoom out past your 10 by 24, so you may not know exactly where. That's why I put in a frame for reference. But now I have a filled-in rectangle. I'm just going to be adding 2 letters for this app icon. Previously, I had this app in our last tutorial. We went over our word collage, which is based off of a topic that we chose, and is based off of us. So I will be adding text, where I will be putting 2 of my initials. Of course, you can choose whichever color you would prefer. And if you notice, some colors pop out more than others. And that could be, blue's complementary color is red, which means the complete opposite of. If you wanted it to be as different as it could be, you may want to choose red. If you chose blue, of course. That is one of the few things you have to be careful of when app designing. Another thing to be careful of is that you want it to give a nice preview of your app. You don't want it to be too complex to where the user can't tell what's going on in the image, because again, it will look kind of small. We just made ours big so far so that when we do get it resized, it has a very nice resolution and it looks cleanly cut. Another thing to be careful of is that colors on your app icon could have a large effect on how it is viewed by the user. For instance, in like the McDonald's logo or their app icon that they have for their app uses reds and yellows, and that tends to incite hunger within the user. But that could just be stuff to be mindful of, and later as you're going into it and making more complex apps, you may want to think about more about your design process. But for the purpose of this app, this will be as far as we go. I am content. This looks more or less centered. If we click on layers, we could change what layer we view everything in. So right now, the G is over the E. If I made the E over the E stands out more than the G because it goes over. or as if the E is directly on top of the G, so we would view the E rather than this portion of the G. But this is good for now, so I'm going to press save. I'm going to press no, and we want to save our image as a PNG. So I will push save as, and I'm going to name this app icon. Since I have a few of these, this will be my fourth one, so I'm going to name mine app icon 4. You may want to call it the name of your application. So in the last project and what I will be adding this icon to, our project was called WordCollage, so you might want to call it that. As long as you can reference it and you know where to find it, you will be fine. The next step is where to save it. On my desktop, I have a folder that I made called icon images, and so I want to save it onto my icon images. So I will press save, of course, make sure it is a type PNG. If you chose JPEG, it may not resize correctly and you could lose a lot of resolution. That's why PNG is preferred. Now I'm going to minimize PhotoScape X because on Xcode, when we open it, I have this app already open. Of course, this is the one that was made and viewed in the last tutorial. If we look here, we click on assets and then app icon, we notice that it wants a lot of different size images, but we only have one image. So in this tutorial, I will be directing you to a website, which we're going to go to now. And what the website will do, will send us files that will have all of our icons but resized appropriately, so that we just have to click and drag them to their corresponding spots. So for mine, I'm going to open up the web page. I'm going to say make app icon because it is just makeappicon.com. It's very helpful for developers. It's free. So I'm going to click on here to choose a file. I'm going to open up desktop and icon images, and I'm going to click on my initials, which is the one that we just worked on. Or sorry, this is the one that we just worked on. I got a bit confused there. Sorry for the confusion if I caused any. Of course, any would work. Our dimensions is 10 by 24 pixels by 10 by 24 pixels. Now we're going to choose it. Now our image is baking, and this is where it is resizing it into many different formats. Once it is done making, it's going to give us the option to send it to an email because it will not let us directly download it from the website. So as we see, this part is done for us. Well, not done. Now we have to enter an email. Now we want to send it to. Mine will be ezg@mit.edu. And we want ours to be iOS because we are using Xcode. And I'm going to make sure I don't subscribe to their weekly newsletter, but feel free to subscribe if that is something you are interested in. I don't believe we need the iWatch or icons for iWatch, but just in case, I will download them. We can see that the developers of this website do have a good sense of humor, but unfortunately I will not be helping their cause today. Okay, it is a success, and now we can download our icons. So now we have to go to whatever email address we just sent it to. Mine was ezg@mit.edu. So I'm going to open it. And once we open our web email, we can see that we got an email from makeappicon@rsky.com. At least that's the one I got it from. It may change when you get it. And it says, hello, we have the resized icons for iOS and Android. So now we can start unzipping the folder. We can see it was downloading, and it has downloaded. We can click on it here. You can also find it on downloads. And if you look, we just downloaded the file for app icon. And I'm going to move it to the desktop and into my icon images. That way it's just organized and better to mess with, I guess. Now we have our files downloaded. So now if I clicked on desktop, what should happen when you open up this file is you're going to see four folders. And we can see we have a few here, but we want to click on app icons. And this will be all of our resized icons for our application. So now what we're going to do is engage in what some developers call the guessing game, although thankfully it's not as much guessing as it used to be. And we're going to click and drag the appropriate size picture into their spot. For instance, now that we have this open on Xcode, to get here we're only going to press on Assets, then App Icon. I'm going to close this side up and minimize it so that we can try to view both where we're going to be putting the icons and seeing where they are stored. This is just for nice, easy accessibility. If we look, on our left, it says that this is 20 points, and then it says 2 times and 3 times. So what does that mean? What this means is that when it's referencing 20 points, it wants a scale of a 20 by 20 pixel picture. So when times 2, it's really looking by a 40 by 40 image. And times 3, it's 3 times 20, so it'd be a 60 pixel by 60 pixel image. Thankfully, app icon and makeyourappicon.com gives us nice descriptions when we download our icon that has been resized. And we can see here, this is icon app, which is it's going to start saying the name of what we call their image. And it says 20, so this means 20 points times 2, and we want to click and drag it to the appropriate spot. We notice we don't get an error here, but had I had this image in a spot that it is not sized appropriately, you can see we have a little warning. And if we clicked on what that warning is, it will tell us what size we actually entered versus what size it's expecting. So it says it's a 20 by 20 times 2, so a 40 by 40 pixelated image, but it should be a 60 by 60 pixelated image in this spot. So I'm going to fix that. And now I'm going to go through and put these in their corresponding spots. Once, as you can see, I put in most of the images and their corresponding pictures. And this also just means that for the iPhone Spotlight for iOS 5.6 and in the settings 5 through 11, this is the image used for that particular device. And the iPhone app for iOS 7 through 11, this is the picture for the application once it is downloaded. You could always look up more too on the specific message, I guess you can call it, to see what it means and where this image would appear. you may notice that we do not see a 10 by 24, 10 by 24, but that is just our iTunes artwork times 2. And now everything is matched appropriately. I just forwarded the video, so feel free to pause and catch up if you have not done so already. Now, when we press play, we're going to see whether or not our app icon is showing up as expected on our screen. And we can see that it does. I'm going to press Command and the left arrow so that it is right side up now. And we can see that our WordCollage app does now have an app icon, which is a very nice feature to have for any app. Otherwise, you will get the default image, although it is not terrible, but you may want to be more unique. But anyways, that is all for this tutorial, and best of wishes. Until next time.